So I was on the whitehouse.gov website doing some research on some of the executive orders that President Trump signed into office on the first day of his presidency, right? When, interesting enough, I came across this one titled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunities. Now, I was like, this should be interesting, right? Now, once I started reading it, it outlined that DEI's illegal policies threaten safety of American men, women, and children across the nation by diminishing the importance of individual merit, aptitude, hard work, and determination, which I agree with 100%. I think people should be judged based on their performance and not based on their skin color, nationality, or who they choose to sleep with. Because we don't care who you choose to sleep with. What you do in your house, that's your business, long as you don't make it my business, right? Now, I was fortunate enough to have a close relationship with my grandmother and grandfather, who were born in the 1920s. And my great-grandmother, she was still living, and she was born sometime after Reconstruction in the late 1800s. Now, they knew the real discrimination. So they used to tell me stories all the time about real discrimination. So my grandparents, even though they went through that kind of stuff, they believed in hard work and always competing to be the best, no matter what your occupation, and to take pride in your work. My grandfather always say, take pride in your work. When you do something, do it right. So my grandfather used to tell me, if you're going to be a ditch digger, make sure you're the best ditch digger in the world. Now, I didn't understand it then, but as I got older, I understood exactly what my grandfather meant. Which brings me to Rev Al Sharpton, the race beta extraordinaire, James Brown's former tour manager and the leader of the black community for more than 50 years. We've been hearing about Rev Al for years. I mean, as a little kid, I remember my grandmother talking about Rev Al Sharpton. She couldn't stand Rev Al Sharpton, by the way. So on MLK Day, right, Rev Al was speaking to a church full of people in D.C., McPherson Square, and at one point during his sermon, he touched on the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the black community. Which, to me, just to me, now from the results I saw from DEI, it didn't benefit but a select group of people, minority women, and those of a non, should I say, traditional sexual orientation. That's all it benefited. It didn't benefit everybody. But, of course, Al Sharpton is going to try to push it off like, everybody in the black community benefited from these DEI practices. And I found his sermon on it kind of interesting. So we're going to get into his sermon and we're going to break it down to basically to debunk a lot of the things he's saying. Because, of course, if you don't know, if you're uneducated on politics and what's going on, Rev Al can get over on you. So the man been hustling for over 50 years and he's still hustling. So let's get into the video.
Martin Luther King did not go into history singing hymns. He did not go into history making eloquent speeches. He could do both.
Now let me stop it right there. This dude and Jesse Jackson and other civil rights activists been riding off of MLK's coattails for as long as I can remember. They will not let this man rest in peace because they haven't even accomplished a quarter of what MLK did. A quarter. Now, they done lined their pockets up with a bunch of money, feeding off the misery of black folks, those who live below the poverty line, those who are uneducated on politics and local government and stuff like that. Now, they've done that because they know majority of the black people in this world, well, in the United States, are, barely making ends meet. And if they can make you feel it, get in your feelings, if he can make you feel it, he got you. He got you because he's going to preach there's a silver lining waiting for somebody to give you something. And you can wait as long as you want. You can wait as long as you want. You ain't going to get jack. You got to get it out the mud. People like Al Sharpton, they're like a poison to the black community because they want you to think because you are descendants of slaves that you owe reparations, or the government, the United States government owes you something because your great-great-great-grandparents were slaves. The United States don't owe you nothing. Nothing. Now, they'll give you an opportunity because why do you think so many people are killing themselves to come over here? Because we're a bad country? No, because they know capitalism works, that you can start with nothing and turn it into something. But listening to people like him, you'll be waiting for somebody or the government to give you something, and you'll never get it. And then you'll think that it's just you just done had a bad life. Nah, you got to get it out the mud over here, homeboy. This is a capitalist country. We don't do that socialism and communism over here. We do dollars and cents.
He went into history because he taught the people in Montgomery and later people around the world, if we discipline our dollars, we would make folk understand they have to respect us and regard us. Donald Trump just said in his inaugural address that he is going to end DEI this week. He's going to put out his executive orders. You have all these corporations that are saying they're going to back up off DEI. And why do we have DEI? We had DEI because you denied us diversity. You denied us equity. You denied us inclusion. DEI was a remedy to the racial institutional bigotry practiced in academia and in these corporations. Now you want to put us back in the back of the bus. We're going to do the Dr. King Rosa Parks on you.
There you go.
We're going to call you out one by one, and we're going to shut you down.
There he go. Now, what he's referring to is the executive order Donald Trump signed in, because I read it. Y'all can go read it. It's on the whitehouse.gov. What Donald Trump did is signed a rescind. He rescinded the executive order. I think it's executive order 11246, right? He rescinded it. He basically signed an executive order to rescind another executive order. He didn't get rid of no rights. He didn't get rid. What he's trying to make you believe, or make these people in this church believe, that he got rid of Title VII, which is basically Title VII is the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That's what he's trying to make you believe. And basically, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits like discrimination in employment based and on race, color, religion, sex, and your national origin. That's what he's trying to make you believe. But he can't. Donald Trump doesn't have the power to get rid of that. That is federal. That basically, that has to be passed through Congress and all kinds of, like, bro, he can't just sign a piece of paper and get rid of that. Like I said, what he did was rescind another executive order. He didn't get rid of the equal opportunity. He didn't do that. But if you didn't know, you be in there cheering in the church like everybody else, thinking that he gonna put you on the back of the bus. Bro, these days, this is 2025. The only way you're gonna be on the back of the bus is if you choose to sit on the back of the bus. You can sit anywhere you want. Because he'll make you believe as soon as you open your door, you looking to the left and looking to the right, and there's some racism. This dude burns me up, man. Look at all them people clapping. Like he done said something.
I've talked with Mark Morial and Urban League. I've talked to others. We're putting together council. I'm going to release the names this week. Alfonso David, for 90 days, they're going to do a study of what companies have pulled out of DEI and what companies have a small margin of profit. And we in 90 days are going to announce the 2 companies that we're going after. And we're going to ask everybody in this country, black, white, brown, gay, straight, woman, trans, don't buy where you are not respected. Donald Trump can't make us buy your stuff. The Senate can't make us buy your stuff. In the name of Dr. King, we're going to do what Dr. King did.
There you go. Dr. King again. So, that was just a snippet of some of the things he said. Like I said, it was an hour long. Most of his sermon was nothing but race bait and the same old rhetoric. We can overcome. Kumbaya, same thing. But now he's trying to use blacks, which he hasn't done anything for. But every time a tragedy happens somewhere in America, there he is standing there talking about, oh, we need equal, or this is racism, or this, that, and the other. That's the only time he pop his head up. That's the only time you see Rev Al Sharpton. Where's the Rev Al Sharpton College Fund? Where's the Rev Al Sharpton Career Development or Trade Center to teach black people trades? He don't have none of that, bro. None of that. Nothing. But this. Promises of a brand new day as long as you waiting on the government. And I mean, let's be honest. Is there still racism in the world? Of course there's still racism in the world. But when the last time you seen some true racism? Now, I said earlier in the video, my grandparents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents were born in the 20s and the 1800s. Now, the stories I heard don't even come close today of what they had to go through. So you can't feed me your bull. You can't tell me just anything and just be like, oh, police brutality. Is it police brutality? There's always some bad apples in the bunch. Always. They are like the minority, not the majority. And him trying to use the black community, gays or whatever, to boycott these businesses. Let's be honest. I guarantee you he's going to go after Walmart. One of the businesses is going to be Walmart. Come on. Black people love Walmart. They love Walmart. You actually think they're going to stop going to Walmart? Man, please. This dude is nothing but a race baiter to me. This dude has lined his own pockets for over 50 years. He only cares about himself. He don't care about us. He don't care about unity, because if he cared about unity, he would stop preaching this rhetoric to create a further divide between black and white. If we didn't have people like him, you know what I'm saying, we would have complete unity. But as long as we got people spitting, these activists spitting this agenda of we as black people are owed something, it's always going to be a divide. But it ain't going to be a divide for us that know. It ain't going to be a divide for us that basically judge people off their results and not their skin color. But it is what it is. Like I said, I know this video not going to be popular. They're going to call me all types of names in the comments. I'm ready for it. But, hey, I hope y'all learned something from this video because I love making this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, Big Mike will see you in the next video.